Yeah, we chat all the time.
All right. We're going to call this meeting to order at 11:15. And we're going to move on to the most exciting topic, which is the chair's report. So if you read my report, there's a lot of rising action, falling action, rising action, character development. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Is there any questions about my report?
Can you read it?
It's on the OneNote.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Basically, talk a little bit about the last few months, the big opportunity we have with this inflection point, Project Archimedes revival, moving things forward with PDR and Defend the Guard, and obviously we need to fund those things. Make it very clear as to what our situation is, and what we need to do to collectively move forward. So take a look at it. But I think you guys on the board probably already know the story. So just not.
I did appreciate that the chair used Spanish in his report. I think it's the first time that a chair has ever used a different language in reports. That was lovely. Thank you. That was the only part of the report I understood. It's funny because I'm Mexican.
Are you? Really?
Gallery people, I know. Sure.
I haven't noticed.
Well, I mean, if there's
We
we
don't
don't have any other alternates sitting in the audience.
How about whenever we vote, I could just go walk over there.
Or just go.
I guess there's who's the primary? It's you, right? So I think as long as we understand you're the primary, I don't think there'll be too much.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna double.
If there's no more questions, that concludes my supplemental report. Vice Chair Czar.
All right, my report's already on the OneNote. You can read, so please read it if you wish to read it. Highlight from there is I'm out fundraising all of you. By about 3/4 of the fundraising from the board is me. Get in the game. That's the challenge. That concludes any questions.
Comment.
Yes.
Do you always pose on people that hard?
Only when they need to be called out for action.
Mr. Mark.
I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate that. And I'll definitely try to give you a run for your money next time.
Awesome. I welcome the competition.
You guys don't want to see Sergeant Dar.
I want to see more of it.
We're going to send him off to board order and anger management. We'll just get really. Treasurer's report, Mr. Redpath.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yesterday, I received from our accountant at Joseph at All-in-One Accounting the preliminary April month-end financial statements. I forwarded them to the board. They have not been forwarded to the public. I want to get them finalized before they go to the public list. But earlier today, I sent them to the board. And so you should all have it in your email inboxes, but as per usual, I think it's best to focus on the, is that page 4? I think that's, yes, it is, okay. That the bottom, because of the JFC, the Joint Fundraising Committee situation, until everything has been paid out, and the financial affairs with the Team Kennedy and the Joint Fundraising Committee have been totally closed out, I think it is best for people to focus to the bottom of page 3 of this 12-page report and page 4. And you can see at the bottom of page 3, as of April month end, we had total cash of roughly $200,000, and there were various liabilities on there, credit card balances. I do want to point out, and Hannah Kennedy's been doing a great job of paying down our credit card balance. It is now down as of April month end to $36,812. Now it's gone up a bit. It's back up into the low 40s currently as of now, or as of yesterday. But in any event, the credit card balance is way down. We were scraping 100,000 at one point. As of the end of April, it's roughly 37,000. Various accrued liabilities, about 44,000. So basically, cash minus liabilities as of the end of April is about $117,000 for the LNC. If you go to page 4 of this report, you can see monthly results January through April. You can see that the miscellaneous income has been going down. The miscellaneous income are the commissions earned by the LNC on the joint fundraising arrangement with the Kennedy Victory Fund. You can see that the membership, the fundraising membership has been pretty steady each of the 4 months. Now it's been under budget, but we have averaged, to be exact, over the 4 months, roughly $58,000 per month in membership revenue. That's pacing out to about $700,000 full year, unless we pick it up somehow. So that is, that's obviously a tight situation. The fundraising situation does need to be addressed. In terms of the expenses, I'm going to have to look at one thing that jumped out at me looking at expenses, and it looks like it is tentatively a net operating income of $16,927. I just noticed this morning that professional services was a negative expense. That occurs sometimes when credits come through that outweigh your debits, but that's $55.89 in there, and I then looked down into the detail on the detail here, and there was a negative accounting expense for the month of April of negative $14,542, which strikes me as odd. And so that's something that's got to be investigated. Again, these are not final for April. You found it. Can you answer that question? Okay.
So that is, Kathy has negotiated with the Kennedy people to reimburse us for our audit fees this year, as well as a very large portion of our accounting expenses. And they went ahead and paid us for those accounting expenses and the audit fee, but we have not yet realized the audit payment. Larry sent us invoice, yes.
Okay. All right. So
What's the total number?
It was 21,000 for the audit, and then there was another accounting payment of a little less than 4,400.
Oh, I see. Okay.
okay. So that is an anomaly, and it's going to be once the audit bill comes in, we're going to see a large professional services amount for that month. So the fact that it looks like we have a net operating income of a positive 17,000 in April 25 has to be taken with a grain of salt. We pretty much broke even in April is the bottom line. So in any event, so that's the big picture situation with the current financial statements. I would also say that I got a cash report from Hannah yesterday, and it basically is right now where we have cash of roughly, that's going to be 50 plus 156 would be 206,000. It looks like we have about $206,000 in cash as of yesterday, and credit card balance is up to about 42,000, and a legal deductible there of about 2,000. So anyway, the unrestricted cash right now is about $161,000. So I would say this, that, and if anybody thinks I'm wrong about this, I mean, please speak up. But I mean, I think the claim that we are broke isn't so. We're not broke, okay? But we don't have a lot of money. Let's face it, we're a national political party. We don't. And right now, I mean, again, once it's going to be a struggle to break even going forward once we stop receiving the joint fundraising.
Which we have. That was the last payment.
That was it. Okay. All right. So so in any event, that's it right now. We're pacing out at about $60,000 a month right now in terms of revenues. That's down historically what we have done. And I would also say that we're going to try to lower accounting expenses. Assistant Treasurer Patrick Mitchell has been working with Joseph at All-in-One Accounting. I'm going to be doing so due to other circumstances in my life. I'm going to do it, but I haven't been able to do it yet. But the goal is to lower the accounting expenses by bringing more accounting work month to month in-house. And I think we're going to start to realize those savings in the second half of this year. So I do thank Mitchell for doing that. That's pretty much it, unless people have questions, and apparently there's at least one. Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. So do we have, what are our financial, assuming that worst case scenario, so nothing changed, the KBF is done, building hasn't been sold yet, fundraising is not taken off yet. We do have, for the chair's report, we do have people that just got brought on. What are our financial projections for the next 3 months? Like, what is our runway worst case scenario now?
Well, Mr. Chair, could you speak to the building situation? Because
No, but not counting the building situation, just like in case that gets delayed, like I'm saying worst case scenario, not counting the building, what are we looking at here? Because it seemed, I haven't like fully crunched the numbers, but it seems like we've got like 3-4 months maybe, if things stay, paying our bills, the credit card at the bare minimum.
I'd say 6.
I think it's not that dire, and I think that we have hold on here, I'm gonna find it. We would have about broken even in. Let's take a look here.
Because we only broke even in April due to those, because of the negotiation for the audit and then the accounting fee returns, right?
Well,
but otherwise it would have been a net loss of 9.
To me, it would be, I'd have to number crunch that a little bit if I could. I would like to answer your question later in the day.
No, that's fine. Just some semblance of thinking worst case scenario. That's just how we have to do it.
Think about that, and before the end of this meeting, possibly later today, I would like to be recognized to address that question.
Awesome, thank you.
You want me to address the building?
I would, yes.
Okay, we might have to move to extend for 5 minutes if there's no objection. Okay. So, so our neighbors next door, we were renting to them for some time for storage and things like that. So we built up a relationship. Andrew Watkins did a great job working with them on that agreement, and then of course we had a cash offer for $650 to sell the building as is to them. I went ahead and with staff, we looked at, okay, what would it cost to get to the appraised value of 840, which is the last appraisal, I think it was in December. I want to say here January. And so we took a look at the market. I enlisted Mike Porter of Target Properties to list the building. We never actually got around to it because we were trying to figure out, well, okay, we have drywall issues. We have, mold remediation issues. We have to fix the roof. It came in a little bit less than I thought it would. It probably would have been about $13,000 for the roof, about $5,000 for the drywall remediation, and then everything else. But there was still some uncertainty there as to what's the extent of it. I'm doing a remodel at one of our Wendy's locations. You take down the drywall, spend an extra $100,000 in concrete repair because you've got issues with spalling. So, given this current financial situation, given that we've gone through what I believe is our due diligence to try to figure out the market, because at this point we're entering the summertime. So even if we get everything fixed up, fix the carpet, tear the carpet out, maybe sell without the carpet, rest is whatever. By the time you factor in time, by the time you factor in monthly fees, by the time you factor in commission and repairs and level of uncertainty, we're looking at net, I think on a good day, we probably could have gotten between 100 to 150,000, maybe. And in a world where we were cash flow positive, I would have felt very comfortable to go through that process, but staff is already very, very limited on bandwidth. I don't want to pressure them anymore. We're not a GC, we're a GC. We're not a construction company to get all that done and to figure out the market. Another thing, when I spoke with Mike Porter, I said, what do you think of the current market given, basically Trump is getting rid of all these agencies and whatnot? That's good for us, but bad for us at the same time because we're trying to sell a building in DC. He said, gun to my head, I'm nervous, right? So typically in the summertime, it slows down and then it would pick back up in the fall. So we wouldn't even have a chance, I think, to really get a competitive bid until the fall. So given that information, I felt that it was best to take the offer from the neighbors for 650 as it is. I tried to negotiate the shit out of them to get the number up. You know, it is what it is. We were going to try to basically rehab the building the way they wanted it. Then they wanted archways, and paint codes, and this and that. And it's just, it got too complicated. So given our current financial situation, I think what we need right now is a bunch of liquidity that we can throw towards, you know, once we get information back from the FEC about how we can use it. I know at least a certain portion of that goes from the general fund that we could theoretically use as soon as we get it, but we're going to wait, keep that little side fund until we know if we have to break glass in case, you know, then we could start tapping in slowly. But I want us to have that cushion because I feel like it was existential. So that's where we're at. So we're in the process. Oliver's looking it over. We're signing paperwork. I signed my share. We're just kind of going back and forth between the attorneys. And, you know, for what it's worth, they've been very accommodating on their side. We're going through the building soon. So hopefully within a few weeks, we should have that finalized.
And when you say finalized, you mean under contract, or we would have the proceeds?
Have the proceeds. Any questions on that? Mr. Thompson?
Not for you, but.
Okay, go ahead. I'm all finished.
So we, I was not aware that we had rented the building out.
I think we did like storage or
was-
something.
For storage.
Right.
Okay.
That was
It was-
So I know some people have questioned if we do sell the building, how do we handle that money? Like, is it bound? But the answer to that's probably the same as the answer to how did we handle the money we got when we rented the building? Like, did that just go into was that released to the
It
general
is,
fund?
I've talked with Paula Edwards about this, and it is my understanding that the LNC has complete freedom
Mhm.
to do whatever we choose to do with the money, because it's not, what matters is not how we accounted for the money. What matters is how we accounted to the FEC for the money. That's what matters. And the thing is that nobody gave, it's my understanding that nobody gave, not one single contributor gave over their maximum normal amount to the LNC when they made contributions to purchase the building. Now, if it had been a situation where, because you have triple the legal amount for buildings and conventions, I believe were the three areas where it's the normal annual contribution times 3. But since nobody did that when making the contributions in the first place, then we are not restricted on how the LNC can use the money upon sale of the building.
Okay.
That is based on Paula Edwards' research into the matter, and that is my understanding.
Okay. I was afraid that we had not.
We're at time for this. Do we need to extend time? Is there any other discussion? Motion to extend? 10 minutes, just in case. All right, 10 minutes. Any objection? Okay. So, no objection. Carried in, then Mr. Malvin.
Yeah, without mentioning a name, I'll get with you afterwards. There is one donor who says that they maxed out on both funds, that they did a yearly contribution to the LNC and then did the max building. Not sure if they want to name public, so I'll talk with you off.
Okay, I certainly would want to know about that.
Yeah. And there's another agenda item coming up in case anyone's will perhaps have a motion then, but we still have property in the basement. If we're going to have money
We're working on selling.
selling what? No, I'm talking about donations, historical donations from people in the building plaques. That people who gave money for promise plaques and things like that. That's another agenda item coming up in case anyone was wondering if that's all I was saying. It's got to be discussed later.
Mr. Malvin?
Yeah, so I just want to clarify something for people that either didn't hear or just maybe not understanding. So the qualification, just because this has been misinformation that's been kind of spewed about, the classification for the FEC is different than our internal classification. So if we say that certain amounts of money are going to be allocated toward a particular project, that doesn't necessarily mean that it was registered that way with the FEC, which is why we can use the funds from the sale of this building toward anything that we need, a rainy day, a savings account, whittle that down. But that's it. So there was just a misunderstanding of an FEC designated class versus our internal processes or whatever. So just to be clear about that.
Mr. Jones?
I was hoping to get a clarification on the timeline of events. If I recall, this board authorized the, sale to move ahead. I think it was maybe in our February or March meeting. And am I correct that we acquired a realtor after that date?
Correct.
And then did not list it with that realtor?
It was never suitable to be listed because there was issues with it, so we're gonna try to take care of those issues, but it was decided that it doesn't make sense to me.
And do we have to pay a realtor the fee now of the sale despite that they did not list it?
We're gonna try to pay them, there's something in the closing statement that the seller or that's gonna have to be paid out to the closing fee agency. I don't know exactly how it works, we're in negotiations right now, but hopefully it's gonna be pretty painless. That's what it is. That will have to be paid anyway, so it's part of a HUD one thing. I don't really understand it, I'm not a real estate attorney, but it should be pretty minimal, hopefully. But it's not gonna be so much, because he didn't do any real work. He helped us out, try to get some numbers, but that's about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, if not, we'll move on to the secretary's report, 5 minutes, Ms. Harlow.
One moment, I'm gonna pull up the OneNote. The only thing I wanted to draw attention to, everything else is, well, there's two things, everything else is in the report, is our upcoming critical dates. We do have to appoint a bylaws committee this meeting. The deadline in the report says 5/22, that might be moved up to 5/21 for reasons that will be discussed at another time, but in any event, there's no time for email ballots. It has to be done this meeting. The next critical date is by the end of this month, is for me to receive objections to the intended presidential vote totals. I have received some that will be on the agenda later for approval by the LNC. And then the next critical date after that is end of July, where I'll distribute delegate numbers to each of the affiliates based upon the presidential vote totals. The only other update I had to give, which these are all very convention related because that's what our dates are, is that I was just told by Mr. Seebeck he has completed a draft teller's manual that hopefully can be passed forward so the wheel isn't being reinvented each time. And everything else is in the report. I'll take any questions.
So for Tennessee, for example, the nature of their ballot access process, where we're either write-in or independent, more than likely, usually. So if somebody actually votes for a candidate in Tennessee, they actually have to attest to it to have it counted. Is that the?
Yeah, that's historically what's happened in the past. The motion is in the OneNote. I've only gotten 3 attestations. So if anyone else from Tennessee is going to attest to me that they wrote in our candidate, they need to get those to me, and it has to be approved by the LNC.
Any questions for the secretary? All right, hearing none, I am.
Mr. Chair, I do have a question. Okay, so next is report of special counsel. That is Oliver Hall, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and it says executive session. Would some of this be an open session, or is it all going to be, I mean, since it's 15 minutes, I presume it's 15 minutes in open session, and then there would be an executive session. Is that correct?
Well,
It's usually part and part. Usually he says the public part first, and if there's anything needed for executive session,
Right,
then sure. Because sometimes it turns out it's not needed. We thought it was and it wasn't.
Right.
Oh, it'll be needed this time.
Okay.
I am going to see if he's available right now. Drew, how does Oliver normally connect? We used to have the owl.
We used to have a,
Okay. So he says 5 to 10 minutes to get set up because he wasn't sure exactly when we could get ready. So why don't we want to move over to the executive director report and then we'll let him slide there. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, 3 hours.
I will be solving.
Your report? Yeah,
Yes.
1 second. This one on SharePoint, there we go. That's not very big, but let me see.
Control plus.
Let me- Hold on and I'll move it over.
Okay, so you will note that the executive director's report looks a little bit different than normal. After meeting with Ms. Debbie Mason, we talked about the best way to communicate information to you guys, and she told me that this is definitely the way forward, so no longer will you get those huge, long, wordy reports. I will just verbally explain it to you and provide you with pictures. So I
So
will.
she said we were dumb.
You paid
She asked me how many people read your executive director reports, and I said, maybe 2. And she's like, okay, you need to draw them some pictures. So I said, okay, we'll leave you pictures. All right, so I'm not gonna rehash the revenue and expense information because Mr. Ridpath covered that really thoroughly. I will just reiterate that we have received all of the KBF commissions that we will receive this year. We had projected for the year 220,000. We got 119,000. So that's a pretty big shortfall, based on, off our expectations. But these numbers, oh, and I'll also indicate that I put this report together so I could send it to Karen Ann last week. These are based on quarterly, numbers. These are not based on as of April, because that financial report for April didn't come in until yesterday. Karen Ann, if you could scroll down, just let me know. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, membership. So we do membership reports. However, what we don't have is a 2025 membership goal, which I would love to bring to you, esteemed board, and ask if you would please consider setting one. We do have the goal from the strategic plan, which I've included there. So you'll see that tiny little orange dot up in the top right-hand corner. Okay, and you will see the blue line, which is where we are currently at, and you will see our trajectory this year. We obviously want that to go the other direction towards that little orange dot.
So we want up is what you're
We
saying.
want up,
Oh, okay.
Yes. But if we could get a more realistic goal potentially, and I'm happy to help in, setting these things. For 2025, we could at least give ourselves a little ray of hope, because right now we're really far from that orange dot. And when I do these, I'd like to make it so that it's, achievable and we can feel good about ourselves at the end of the year. That's also very important. Karen Ann, you can scroll down a little bit more. Also, I would like to bring to the attention of the board that sustaining members for the bylaws, is my understanding, count as both members that give us money every year and also lifetime members. Some of these lifetime members are not donating to us. So our financial support comes primarily from those 6,689 members, and very little of it comes from that 3,267 members. Obviously, lifetime means you don't ever have to give again, but maybe you want to. So I'm putting that on there just as an understanding that even though we have 9,000 some odd members, we aren't collecting money from 9,000 some odd members. We are collecting money from 6,689 members, which may be slightly down as of April. Let's hope not. If Karen, if you could scroll down just a little bit more. Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to jump over to the right side here, and you can see the lifetime member donation profile. So this is the percentage of lifetime members who have donated in the last year. So that represents 12.5%. Some of them are one-time donations, some of them are recurring donors. I love those recurring donor ones the most. But you'll see no donations in the last year is a huge percentage. And so I'm presenting this to the board as an opportunity to perhaps recapture some of these legacy lifetime members who may wish to be re-engaged, get back in with the party and so forth. And so I'd really like to use that as a vector to start exploring opportunities to increase revenue with our current data. So I've also put together our year-to-date revenue makeup, which, as you can see, the majority of our revenue, this obviously does not include our ABF commissions, is in recurring monthly donations. So that's where most of our money comes from. If we could start incentivizing somehow recurring monthly donations over recurring yearly, over one-time donations, really pushing that hard, not only would that increase our monthly or our overall revenue, but it also would allow us to do better projections. So as Mr. Redpath covered, our projections for income this year were off. They were not great. And that is because we don't have good data to go off of in terms of, like, we're not dealing with a Planet Fitness model here. We have people that, our revenue in February is vastly different than revenue in October, for instance. Because in October, historically, is the year that everybody signs up so that they can participate in the next convention. And so you'll see a huge boost in October revenue. That can send false signals to staff and you guys, which is like, oh, our revenue is way up. We must be doing something right. No. Frequently, no, that's not the answer. The answer is that we've hit a good month. And February is historically our worst month. And you can see in our financial reports that February we fell off hard, and we're like, oh no, what did we do? Nothing really. It's just a matter of February's a bad month and October's a good one. So this will allow us to normalize our income a lot more over the course of the year.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're great. Congratulations, Mr. Dar. Challenge Mr. Dar for a top fundraiser. Thank you. Got you right there. So our board fundraising participation goal is 100%. So that means we would like everyone to have collected some donations. Literally $5 is still counts as participation. So get somebody to use that link. Use the link yourself. I don't care. We're not looking at, did you cheat by giving your own donation? I don't care. The board fundraising total, $8,109. Now, granted, again, this is as of end of April. Nope, this one's end of April. Sorry, just making that clear. Mr. Dar represents a little over 2/3 of that. Mr. Nikela is next after that. So congratulations, both of you. Well done. You're leading the charge. But we still only have 6 out of 23 members. And I can name all 6 of you. And actually, well, it's Mr. Nikela, Mr. Dar, Ms. Harlos, Mr. Thompson, Ms. Coward, and Andrew Watkins. Those are your 6. So let's get in the game, everybody.
You guys can all fix that really quick by just becoming a $5 a month donor.
You got your link right now.
You could
You
start
got
it.
your phone.
By that
Do it right
nature,
now.
I should be included too.
Did
Drew,
you use your link, Mr.
I need you to cancel my recurring donation so I can use my own link.
Yes, I
Thanks.
can do that. Email
I'm not
it.
kidding. I'm saying like actually cancel it now and then I'm gonna use my own link because I will get credit for this, damn it. So do that.
Okay, here, Nan, if you can go down a little bit more. All right, so these are our state affiliate services / initiatives. One of them I reached out to you guys about a few months ago, which was we need state affiliates to be registered on voter gravity. Why is that so important? Because the way that our local candidates are gonna get access to voter gravity is through their states. Their states have free accounts, it costs them nothing. We pay for it at national. We pay for our data and we pay for theirs. So it's free for them to sign up. All we need them to do is do it. And we'd love to have a contact for if that's either their chair or if there's another member of their board, or if they have a specific candidate support person contact that they'd like us to use. We'd like their name, so our candidate support committee can stay in contact and can move those candidates that come in through the candidate submission form. Yes, sir.
Do we pay additionally per state that registers or is it one? It's one
It
sum
is a
regardless,
flat fee.
whether it's one state or 50 states.
Correct. So we're paying $3,000 a month to have 14 states. We would also pay $3,000 to have 50 states. Yes, sir.
So when you mentioned voter gravity, Evan McMahon looked at me slightly threatening. And because he knows that we need more adoption of voter gravity across the board. So I would task the region reps to talk to your states and see. I mean, this is a great program. It really is. I mean, we were talking about the other day, and I mean, it's something that I think a lot of states could really go from having no candidate support infrastructure to having a really solid suite. So if we can get to 50 states, if your region reps are in your regional, state meetings, the XComs, it's a good value. I mean, what's the cost for an affiliate to adopt this? 250, I think. Is it 250 a month? For voter gravity? To adopt it?
State affiliates are free.
State affiliates are free.
There's no charge.
And then it's the candidates that have to sign up.
Candidates can pay for services. I don't know what that fee structure is, but I can get it to you.
As a
Yes.
former candidate, it's 50 a month.
50 months, okay.
Okay, so it's free. So
I
there's
believe it depends on the size of the district the candidates are running for. We had some local candidates, it was very inexpensive, less than that even. And I think far below market rates for competing services, so it's very inexpensive and extremely useful.
Is there any restriction on a state acting as a proxy for the candidates? Like, if the state signed on, can we get like, hey, contact us and we'll give you the.
Oh, absolutely not. No, that's the primary way. Yeah, no, if the state is willing to do that, it's for candidates who maybe have a little bit more funding and would like to run their own searches and have their own access to data, they can pay for it. But otherwise, their primary vector is going to be through their state affiliate.
Mr. McMahon.
Ed McMahon, Chairman of the Libertarian Party of Indiana. So we use voter gravity. The fee structure is Indiana as the affiliate, we pay nothing. Our counterparties that run their own instance, they pay $50 a month. The minimum is $50. So if you are also a county level candidate or below, it is $50 a month. If you are a legislative candidate, it is $100 a month. If you are a statewide candidate, it is $450 a month for voter gravity. What we did is we offered a bounty or a reward system, which was if you as a candidate or a county party knocked on so many doors using voter gravity, the state party would reimburse your voter gravity bill for doing it, because that data, they're all linked to us as the state affiliate. So we can see their dashboard for any of our candidates or our county parties, and all of that data filters out to us. We can export it in our own CRM. So it's highly beneficial for us in future campaigns, but also the candidates and the county parties are getting great information going door to door.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Lovely. All right. So that's all about voter gravity, and that is something that you, as the region reps, can be directly involved in. And I would love it if all of the states in your regions were on voter gravity. Okay. Yes, sir.
Are you the contact if a state wishes to sign up?
Yes. Okay, so our unified membership program, right now we have 3 participating members. We do have the Indiana triples. I don't mean to leave them out, but the official unified membership program, the legacy program, has 3 participating states still. We are hoping to get that to 50 states. Now, not all 50 states will want to work with us. That's okay. We're not going to twist anybody's arm. However, we do want to revamp this program, make it more attractive, and start really fostering those relationships better with our affiliates, so that we can not only share data, but also share financial success. So when somebody signs up for national, we want them signing up for the state too. Go down to the
That was all, I think that
Oh,
was.
here.
That's all that upload.
Okay, nope, that's my bad. It was on page 2.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
could you explain the unified membership program and how it works?
Sure. So currently, the way it works is that on states, state affiliate pages, the ones that participate, they can have a link to sign up for both their state affiliate and for national at the same time. So they'll be a member of both. And then the proceeds are split depending on how the donor, either how it's negotiated in the beginning, that there's a standard way to split it, or in some states, it really depends on the state and how they negotiate it. But essentially, the funds are split from that donation so that they would then qualify for both state and national membership.
Okay, you're splitting the $25.
So it would be, they would have to donate at least the minimum for each state. So for instance, if California is 25 and we are 25, they would be donating 50.
Okay, so what if somebody just becomes, I take it, that's a standing member. We still have memberships where people don't have to give anything. What happens in that situation where, say, is it possible for somebody to sign up to be a member without donating any money?
Not to national. You would not be a member. There may be states in which that's possible. Okay, there are, every
Florida's
state is
not
different,
legally
which is
allowed.
why this is kind of a larger project, because much like ballot access or something, like every state's gonna have their own bylaws, and we're gonna have to work with them individually to figure out the agreement that works for your state.
And I have another question, that is, to what extent is there data sharing back and forth between national and the various states these days?
So National sends out membership reports weekly now. Eventually there is, oh, Karen, you found it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for some reason, OneNote didn't want to display it, so I just downloaded it.
Thank you. Okay, so you'll see actually on this here, the state CRM solution at the bottom. So that has been paused due to resource constraints. However, at a certain point when we are able to once again pursue that, and we can work with states to get them onboarded to a CRM, to either Zoho CRM, or we can integrate their CRM, whatever platform they're on, with ours. We will then be able to share live back and forth. But right now, the most important data to share is national to the states, and so that goes out weekly. Yes, sir.
For our affiliates that are interested in joining the Unified Membership Program, do we?
On my list.
What?
You guys are already on my list. I think your chair reached out to me. She reached out to me months ago. And I know we've got a couple more that are interested, so you'll definitely be in the pilot program.
Cool.
Don't worry.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So just to clarify to Mr. Redpath's point, if you look at the bottom page of I think it's the last page of your report, it's broken down by LNC members that have donated year to date, whatever, and then monthly sustaining membership, lifetime, whatever. At the bottom, California, it is one of the 3 states, so it's split up. And then when this happens often, how do I join the Libertarian Party, whatever, I get an email at chair, I send them the unified link so they can do both. And I kind of have a template that I've already drawn up where I explain there's 2 different levels of membership. $50 covers you for the year, and then they can do a recurring thing, and it just goes on. So all the payouts to California are a result of they signed up through that link. Money goes to national first, and then they cut the check for whatever unified memberships happened that month. So it's highly beneficial for all states. So you don't have to explain it. You can send one link, they can automatically renew, and then the LNC just cuts you a check. It's first of every month or first week of every month, something like that. And it just comes in easy.
And that is something that we would like to template, is making that easy for states to explain. Because we frequently at national will get requests like, hey, I canceled my membership, why am I still being charged?
Right.
And then we find out that, oh, it's through your state. So, then we find their state contact and we have them reach out to their state treasurer and whatnot.
Oh, sorry. Well, just the downside, this would be better later on. So if people start adopting Zoho, what we have to do in California is our secretary has to manually input those members into our CRM. So we use Neon, we have our own CRM. Once we hope to adopt Zoho, when the time is right, then they should speak to each other, so it should be fine. So sometimes it happens that they get an automated email from me that, oh no, renew your membership, or your membership's about to lapse on this, and I thought I just paid my $50. We have to cross-reference and double check. So when it's missed, you have to go back and do it manually on our end, on the state's end. It's fine for national, but so if you have to make sure that the secretary or the chair, whoever's in charge of memberships, is cross-referencing stuff in case there's confusion.
Do you know if the unified donation, would it allow someone to, if they wish, donate just to national or to a state?
I believe there would be their own contribution pages for that. So there would be a specific contribution page that's just.
My interest here was.
Now, possibly could we design a
If we
page
made
that
that
way?
the only way for people to donate,
Yes, right.
then we would funnel everyone there. So it would be more strong to suggest that they donate to national as well.
Correct. Yes, that would be
Some
my
people,
preference.
some
We just
people
could
may
never
not wish.
force states to do that. But
A state wish to do.
Not with that attitude.
We will help you set that up, sir. Okay, so Karen Ann was good enough to find the tail end of my report, which is just the staff project timelines. So these are for accountability for me and you guys also, so you know what's going on. What is staff actually doing? So first, database cleanup. In my very first meeting here at the end of 2023, Andy Vukovich gave a fantastic presentation on technical debt. Some of you may or may not have been there for that. But essentially, we owe a lot of it. There were a lot of things that happened in the city era that require and necessitate a database cleanup. We have duplicates out the wazoo. We have addresses that need to be updated. We are currently working on appending our data. And what it will allow us to do once we get a clean database is to quickly implement all of these new database-based initiatives, which I will discuss a little further here. But before we can do that effectively, without having to go back and do a lot of work and make people mad and get things wrong, we must clean up the database. So we are projected right now to have that done end of August, at least to a point. I mean, cleanup will be ongoing, but at least to a point where we can quickly mobilize our database to help us with these initiatives. Recently, past couple weeks, we have brought on Mr. Perry Willis, and he is going to be helping us spearhead the Archimedes 2.0 launch. So Project Archimedes was the most successful membership and fundraising initiative in the party's history. We'd like to do it again. We really need to do it again. And Mr. Willis was a part of that the first time. So he is back and would like to help us the second time, which is great. We are hoping to have that project ready to launch again by August. Mr. Willis just came on yesterday. His contract is 3 months. And so hopefully at the end of that 3 months, we will be ready to hit the go button on a lot of these things. Unified Membership Program revamp. So that is slated for November this year. That is not necessarily when we will bring out, we will be ready to pilot. Like, we may have already started piloting people before then, because we're gonna have to do some testing and work with some different states. But we'd like to have the agreements revamped, the understanding, you know, the clear to legal and all of that. And also have sorted out all of the technical, like if this, then this, so stuff. So that will be November. Yes, sir.
It's kind of a point of personal privilege. I have some state chairs that are observing, and they wanted to know if they could see the speaker. The camera apparently got moved off to the left.
Right here, can you see me? Okay. Okay, so then we have our LP Action launch. So again, LP Action is geared towards fostering good relationships with our affiliates. Eventually, what we would like this program to look like is a resource. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with these state affiliate workbooks that Pat Ford and Jacob Bradley put together last term. But we essentially want to make that live and active and just throw resources at affiliates, like branding resources, templated designs for things, perhaps relationships with vendors. We would also like to, we'd also like to work more closely. There was a lot of damage done to, you know, reputationally between national and the affiliates in the city era. This is an effort to repair that and make everybody feel like we're all on the same team. Now, in addition to soothing us emotionally, it also helps us from a branding perspective, because what we don't have a lot of in the Libertarian Party is a lot of individualism and not a lot of professional branding. And if we can more closely steer affiliates to professionalize the branding for their affiliates, that just helps us. That helps everybody, because then there's more eyeballs on LP, regardless of if it's LP Oklahoma or LP National. Okay, we also have the social ads campaign. So Mr. Matt Johnson has been working closely with us and the chair to pilot some LP Florida data in order to reach out to social media contacts and try to get membership, try to increase our membership that way. We are reviewing proposals right now, and I would hope to have something in the works and implemented by July of this year. Now you'll see we do have 3 pause projects here. PDR candidate toolkit. So that was something that was being actively worked on, and we did need to pause just due to lack of resources and expertise. The member login portal has also been put on pause. However, that one needs database cleanup anyway. So if we get to a point where we can start incorporating that again, I would love to. I think it's a really great initiative, but for the moment, there's no movement on that. And then the last is the state CRM solution, which we discussed. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've several. One's the most probably important though. So I'm looking at the database cleanup timeline. And I'm sure you're aware, it's just something that's always on the top of my mind. Our delegate allocation debt cutoff is end of October. So we have to be able to give the states an accurate number of their sustaining members by end of October. So I just wanted that on your radar. I'm sure you knew that, but I just wanted to make sure. On the LP Action thing, Mr. Thompson was around, I think, too, when that was first launched. That was the The states loved that. There was all kinds of branding on there, and some of the historical items for like social media manager workbooks and the like are on Elpedia now as well.
That's wonderful, thank you. I didn't know they were on Elpedia,
Yeah.
but we will be pulling those up and modernize. Okay, well, if there aren't any more questions, I just would like to remind you all that there is a, yes, sir.
I do have a question. Yeah, could you please remind us, I think it's good to have, be reminded as a board about the, who do we now have on staff as an employee, number one, and then number two, who are our contractors right now, and what do these people do? It's good. That might be in a written report.
Oh,
So-
sure, I actually have,
From the
I have been,
confidential EPCC report.
Did you read my?
I did not read your EPCC, I'll turn myself guilty as charged. Okay.
I do have a current and up-to-date organizational chart that I had used when I was working with Debbie. And so I will be happy to forward that to the board just shortly, and you'll be able to see it broken down.
I was gonna ask, because we wanna obviously have some kind of goal for the year, instead of a long-term goal, like have some short-term things too. Did you, want to maybe work with staff and give us some recommendations as to what you feel is realistically feasible, given what we have underway that?
I'll give you 3 choices.
Okay, multiple choice, one right answer.
Yeah.
We're libertarians, we only like binary choices. So we can do that.
Yes, sir.
Rat cards and travels.
I thought
Even
it
though
was,
they're out there, they're there. What's the turnaround time roughly if someone orders candy or fully orders rat cards this year?
less than a week.
I'm sorry?
Less than a week. Yeah, they're, yes, sir.
Thank you so much for the pictures and the report. Next time I'd like them to be blank just so we can color them in ourselves. That would be a little bit just interactive. You know, it's really important for us to be engaged.
Some dots.
Yeah.
I would like to remind everybody there is a fundraiser this evening. Justin Amash and Larry Sharp will be there. So if you want to rub some elbows, it's going to be on the 28th floor, the Madrid room. So please go ahead, purchase your tickets. That goes for everyone in the gallery also. I will send a link to Karen Ann so she can put the link up on the,
What's the time of that, when to when?
starts at 7:30, ends at 10. So we can
7:30
all
to
go
10,
in.
okay. And are there gonna be eats there? Are there going?
Light hors d'oeuvres. So I would recommend eating dinner first. But you need something to soak up the alcohol.
What's up for auction?
Auction necessarily, there will be door prizes for top donors though.
Right.
So top donors of the evening will receive door prizes. Cool. What's that? Oh, yeah, Drew, what's that t-shirt?
And if you're going to donate, be sure
These
to
are
use
not yet available on the store.
lp.org/Johnson donor.
Nice try.
Were you able to do this?
He will this evening. We have a few minutes. So
Yeah, we have.
there are the new shirts that are not yet available on the store. We are going to have them please sign. And so top donors of the evening will receive one of these.
Nice.
No more questions. All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, one more question.
Yes, sir.
How much is the event?
$60.
Thank you.
Mr. Dar sent an email a couple days ago.
That's what I should have done. I should have donated $60
So you're like,
and
yeah,
my link.
you messed up.
Done messed up,
Yes.
Ron.
Toward the end is the breakdown of all the staff versus contractors and what they do, hire dates. and all that.
Comings and goings.
It's only 2 pages.
Hey, how's it going, Oliver? This is Steven. Are you ready to rock? Hey there, I'm gonna put you on speakerphone, but I'm gonna see if there's, I wish I had a Bluetooth speaker or something like that, but. Oh, do you know?
Is this a council report?
Yes.
So,
It's gonna take you to a Bluetooth
so we're going into executive session.
We're gonna start out in open
I
session.
wanna make sure all
And
the-
if there's anything we need to touch on in executive session, we can certainly move into executive session. Do you, is that gonna be a part of your report?
Executive session.
Okay, okay. So we'll start off in open session and we'll make that into executive session.
Thanks for the opportunity to present my report. I think as always, the report more any questions anyone may have about any of these items or anything else that's not in the report. I just wanted to make one comment about the report, and that is this term, I spent a great deal of time representing the LNC, mainly because there were two different derivative suits that we had to deal with, two special investigative committees, the joint fundraising committee. There was just a lot going on, and that's all included in the report. But I guess just wanted to make a note that the amount of time expended on these and other matters may.
Are you saying you want to raise, Oliver?
And of course, I'm happy and always prepared to deal with. But I guess I just wanted the LNC to be aware, as I'm sure you already are, from the amount of time it took for the LNC itself to deal with these and other matters. The same is true for me. Having said that, I'm happy to answer any questions or address any issues you might like.
Do we want to go ahead and move into executive session? Is there a motion?
Yeah, I would move, yes.
Okay, is there a second?
What- I
Discuss,
need the
to
purposes.
discuss legal issues.
So I'm not going to object to going into executive session, but I will leave. I would just like the record to reflect that Mr. Chatterton has broken attorney-client privilege and other members of the LNC have leaked confidential information. So I do not want to be deposed. I will go get a drink and you guys can have fun.
As a point of order, I would like to object to Mr. Maligan's characterization of such thoughts of standing.
Policy manual.
I would
Mr.
like
Chair.
to object to it as well.
Mr. Chair, for the policy manual, I'm allowed to state my reason for leaving executive
Able to
session.
speak without interruption. Mr. Malagan has made an unsubstantiated claim against me, making direct and specific allegations that he has not substantiated. And if he wishes to continue to carry those, I would ask that he should try to prove his allegations through proper disciplinary procedure. But I just don't think he'll do that.
Mr. Chair, I submitted screenshots of the Mises Discord where he was leaking confidential information that was presented to us by LNC counsel.
He does
So
not
I,
provide
this
screenshots.
This happened 3 months ago. I would just like that noted for my reason for leaving executive session. You can all have a.
Mr. Martin, and then Mr.
I just object to the to the characterization of attorney-client privilege. It should be inuring to the benefit of the organization. I think that's something that would definitely apply much more strongly in an open proceeding. But I don't think that that would constitute, like, I can see, I'm just gonna say, I'm not sure, I'm not sure Mr. Malagan understands what he's saying.
Mr. Thompson.
No, sorry, mine was more of a point of personal privilege. I want to reiterate that an argument is not a point of order. A point of order is a procedural issue.
Point of order is unsubstantiated specific allegations being made against me.
Personal privilege. As an example, sure.
My argument's much more mundane. Should we append, after going into executive session, going to lunch, to the people in the gallery who are sitting there for an hour only to go to lunch?
Yeah, I second that if that's in order.
So in the gallery sitting, go to the gallery, go out and have lunch.
Is there any objection to adjourning for lunch or recessing for lunch after executive session or after the special counsel report is over and then reconvening? I guess once it's finished, we'll break for 90 minutes and then we'll come back whatever time that everybody's ready.
Mr. Chair, I just want, Mr. Malagan, because there was so much, does that reflect what you wanted in the minutes on the screen?
I'd say broken attorney-client privilege and
Okay.
Object to that classification. That's not been substantiated. And if there's a specific allegation.
I will note your objection if that's satisfactory to the chair.
Question for Mr.
I don't
Malagan.
think that's appropriate.
I'm at the chair's disposal.
If it's all right, Mr. Chair.
broken attorney-client privilege.
Okay, I'll take that. And you said other LNC members have leaked confidential information?
Correct.
Okay. will note Mr. Chatterton's objection.
I'll stand until it's official. Mr. Gordon.
Question, when you say he's broken attorney-client privilege.
I am not the chair. I'm not taking questions at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Just want to make sure you understand what that
All right, let's
means.
keep this germane to the executive session motion. Where are we at? Anybody else think you recognize? Okay. Is there any other discussion on whether or not to go to executive session? All right, hearing none, is there any objection to going to executive session at this time? All right. If not, the gallery can please clear the room, all non-LNC members, and we will plan on whenever we're finished up, 90 minutes after that, so. Yeah,
Drew,
find an LNC member.
Drew, you want to stop?
Probably not.
It's gonna be 2 o'clock at the earliest.
Yeah, before we start the session.
Yes.